All right, partner A, you are in charge of teaching your partner how to graph a line that's written in slope-intercept form. Here's our formula for slope-intercept form. If you don't remember, the N represents the slope, which we spent all last class talking about, and B represents the y-intercept. The B, also to me, stands for begin. So when I'm graphing a line, I'm always going to start with the y-intercept. So we're going to start at the beginning, which is the y-intercept. So notice B for beginning, B for y-intercept. So the first thing you do is you make a point at the y-intercept. Then you count the rise. Then you count the run. Then you make a point and connect the dots. So we're going to go through a few examples, and then I'm going to ask you to try a couple problems on your own. So our first line is y equals 1/2 x plus 4. So if I follow my slope-intercept, I know that the number next to the x is going to be my slope. And I know the number by itself is going to be the intercept. So this is slope of 1/2 and intercept of 4. I always start at the beginning. I start with b. So I'm going to go to the y-axis, and I'm going to make a point at 4. Next, I'm going to use my slope. We know that this is the rise. We know that this is the run. So I'm going to rise 1 and run 2. Make a point. Maybe I'll do one more. 1, 1, 2. All right. This line right here is y equals 1/2 x plus 4. The next one we're going to graph is y equals 5 plus 3/4 x. I know that the number next to the x is my slope. I know the number that's by itself is the y-intercept. So we have 3/4 slope, 5 is the y-intercept. This is where I start. I start at the beginning. This is my rise. This is my run. So I start at 5 on the y-axis. I go up 3, 1, 2, 3, run 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I could go the opposite direction, down 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to connect my line. This line right here represents this equation. Our next graph is y equals 5x minus 1. We know that this right here is going to be our slope, and this right here is going to be our y-intercept. This is where I'm going to start, but this time I don't have a rise and I don't have a run. So I know that this is the same thing as 5 over 1. So for this one, I'm going to start at -1. I'm going to rise 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and run 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, run 1. And finally, our last example, I would like to graph y equals -x plus 3. There is no number here, but I do know that the coefficient is -1. So my slope is -1. My intercept is 3. I start at the beginning. Since this is not a fraction, I can make it -1 over 1. I'm going to start at 3. If I'm rising -1, that means I'm really going down, and then I'm going to run +1. Down 1 over 1. I connect the line, and voila. So to check that you understood these notes, please try the 4 problems underneath, and then check them over with Ms. Hammond when you're done, and I will sign off your sheet.